Hi guys, welcome to Cinema Beef. We're a movie review show where we review a movie each week and also make a meal related to the movie with some kind of meat.
Or meat-related item.
So today we're doing Heretic. It's written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. It feels like every movie is directed by two people these days.
Yeah, brothers, Padres.
5,000 brothers directing teams.
Twins.
Yeah, stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East, and just a little touch of Topher Grace in there.
Well, tiniest touch. You
Yeah.
barely notice
It's a little
it's
dab
touching
will
you.
do it.
You're like,
Yeah.
who is this guy?
You want to give it a little synopsis?
Heretic. I keep wanting to say Heretic 2. I don't know why.
Yeah, me
'cause-
too. I was
Right?
gonna say
Is
that
that-
earlier. Yes.
Cool, great. Because it's weird. I don't know why.
So there is a sequel to Exorcist called Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Maybe that's it.
Oh. Who's in that one?
Linda Blair again, but
Okay.
it's like a very like trippy like.
Yeah. It's an A24 horror film, and I don't know, all the young people are in tune about it. We got
A24 is a little over the top. I was in theater one time, an A24 trailer came on the screen, and people clapped in the audience. It was very.
Oh, just the A24
Yeah, it's
comes
the
up?
logo, yes.
Wow, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
I mean, I remember there was a time when Focus Features would come up, and I'm like, yeah. These two girls, they're Mormon sisters, missionaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The thing about this movie is that it was very interesting to learn about the Mormons, or is it the Latter-day Saints?
It's the Church of Latter-day Saints is the church.
Uh-huh.
Mormons are like the
Okay.
cool gang.
They don't really explain too much about the actual Mormonism part of it, but it's these two missionaries who go in their town of, are they in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay, they're in the Holy Land, and they're going from house to house spreading the word, and they got their little bikes, and da 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 da. They're going around, and they go to Hugh Grant's home, and I guess he's a guy that I had expressed some sort of interest in, and like, oh yeah, next time you guys come back, come on in. So they show up. It's raining. It's pouring, and he's this lovely, handsome Hugh Grant. We've all grown to love.
Beautiful, beautiful man.
Just an old,
Suave
like
guy.
just kind of great, and just finally
Jovial, good, welcoming.
just like a sexy grandpa, because he could be a grandpa. That he's old enough to be a grandpa. He probably is a grandpa.
There's younger grandpas than him.
Anyway, so they go to his house, and only to find out that he's not what he seems, and hilarity ensues. Do we talk about the entire movie? I don't know how much you want to give away.
Yeah, he gets them in the house by telling them that there's pie that his wife is making.
There's an aroma of blueberry pie.
Yes, which turns out to be a candle, which really sets off their fears, and then the nights only get worse from that point on. I would say.
The movie starts off with them hanging out at a bus stop, and
yes,
they're talking about sex and like
it's a cute
sexing.
scene. Very cute opening, I thought.
She's talking about sexing and like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being all naive and
The way that she like delivers the line like pornography. That was very good.
pornography.
Yeah.
Pornoing. I
Yeah, she
forget.
goes like pornography. I was some pornography. That was very cute. Yeah, let's talk about the performances. What do you think of Hugh Grant's performance?
Unpopular opinion. I think I'm sick of him a little bit. Like
Oh, yeah?
he's great. He's great, and he's delivering 100% like grade A Hugh Grant kind of.
Yeah.
Just a chill.
I would
guy.
say, yeah, he's changed his persona
charming.
a little from, younger romantic comedy days, bumbling, like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Now he's a bit of more of like a suave gentleman.
Now he knows what to say at every moment.
Yeah, he's very, he's going for like a suave, like,
Super suave.
smug type deal.
Little upper.
He does let loose in the
upper
movie.
crust.
But I think like certain scenes felt like they were the writers kind of wanted to let loose more, and like kind of like they wrote it for like a Nicolas Cagey type performance.
Interesting.
Like when he's giving a lot of his monologues, like he does like a Jar Jar Binks impression, like ooh.
Yeah, that came out.
And
That
like
was weird.
that stuff, like it seemed like the writers like wanted him to go a little more manic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like holds back, and he's a bit more of a subdued Hugh Grant in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, he did come off like a dad who doesn't know what his kids are talking about, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know George Binks."
Chloe East, I loved her as the missionary.
So good.
Sophie Thatcher, I did not love as much.
No.
Like there's a lot of movies recently where there's just a lot of like face acting. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
Like so the first scene
Speak
where
no evil.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the one? Say No Evil?
Yeah. Even like the trailer for Gladiator, there's like so many shots of just like what's his name? Paul Mescal. Just like
And
doing like
Pablo.
a ton of like faces like this, and like there's when the three people in this movie first meet, they just keep on zooming in on all their faces, and Sophie Thatcher's making all these like over the top, like, ooh, I'm scared, I'm like this,
Yeah.
and like just like a lot of like face acting there, which that doesn't really like, relate to like what she should be feeling in that scene. Like it's a little over the top, I would say.
I thought the same thing as well, but I think because the cinematography in the movie was so like dark and close-up shots, I felt like it kind of wouldn't have worked if they hadn't made any face acting moves.
Yeah,
Like if they were just kind of like
I thought-
not doing anything.
I thought Chloe East and Hugh Grant both were like a little just like more pulled back. Like,
Yeah.
Like she's like little like
Yeah. I guess, are they teenagers or are they in their 20s?
they're like 21.
They're in their 20s because they have a run-in with some teenagers in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like they totally like make fun of the Mormons at this moment. So these girls want to take a selfie, and there was a cute moment where Chloe East goes in on like, oh yeah, I'll take a selfie.
Yeah.
She starts posing with them the same way a girl of that age would pose, and then all of a sudden these mean teenagers just fucking prank her skirt off.
In all movies, every teenager their meanness is turned up to level 2000.
So high, yeah. And to the point where I see a teenager and that's what I think now. I'm like, stay away from them. They're
Worried
gonna
about to get pants.
They're gonna get pants. They're gonna throw something
no
at
selfies
me.
of teenagers.
They're gonna say some like passive aggressive shit that I don't know, and I'm gonna be like, damn it, what do you mean?
Yes. But I think the characters were well written.
There was so much dialogue. There was like cool. It's a smart. I thought it was smart.
Yeah, it
movie.
was like in the beginning, once they start to feel bad vibes, like in Hugh Grant's house, they do try to escape right away,
Immediately,
which
yeah.
I appreciated.
Yeah, they
like-
weren't just silly.
They were like,
being-
let's kind of like let's because they are trying to be polite at the same time, but right away when they feel bad vibes, they're like, let's break a window, let's get out of here. Which I like that. Like,
Yeah. You would think in a movie like this, there'd be a lot more opportunities for like people to yell at the screen.
yeah, like horror movies
Because
used
you're
to
like,
be that
what are
way.
you doing? Yeah.
Horror movies used to be everything. You just like, classic like don't run up the stairs, like.
Yeah.
And then horror movies have gotten a lot smarter in recent years about like not having you yell at the screen the entire time.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of scenes where I did still want to yell at the screen in this movie.
Well, towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you figure you can't hold that up forever.
Yeah.
Once the what do you call it? Like once the evil or the scary thing or the monster, like it all of a sudden the it's like a scary movie is like a roller coaster ride where you're clinking slowly towards this fucking thing, and then right when it happens where we find out he's this or there's a supernatural that. And like once you know what the bad guy is, all of a sudden it's like woo!
Drop.
Yeah, and then the writing gets stupid and crazy and fast, and things just start happening. Oh, it's not what?
This movie is not immune to that.
No. It does have some of that, but they kind of hold it off towards the end. So he brings him into his house, and basically he starts to like have a little fun debate about religion and their belief system. And,
So you said you like the dialogue. The dialogue is fine. The problem is it starts to feel like a cool college professor teaching a class. Like, I bet you guys didn't know this, and what about this? And like, there's a scene where there's action that's about to start. There's two doors, and you're like, oh wow, like this something cool is about to happen. And he goes, no wait, one second. And then he gives a 15-minute lesson to the girls, uninterrupted. I mean, there's some cool things he says, but it's just like I'm just like, oh no, like there's action right behind you. Get to the action.
Yeah, because he had already written. He has these two doors.
He already sets up the action. Then he goes, wait 1 second before you do that.
Let's
play a song
for you.
2 songs actually. Let me show you do a thing about Monopoly. Let me do a thing about.
So basically, his little moment is to debate belief systems and how. Religions
he's like a religious scientist, theologian.
He's a theologist or theologian, whatever. He knows a lot about where religions came from.
And this is like
his house is full of like art and like old shit and like
it's like
Indian
a science
stuff.
experiment for him.
That didn't become clear to me right away, but I was like, why is he doing this?
So one thing I kind of wish when I was seeing the movie was like I wish the plan was a little more involved or like more exciting.
Yeah, it was
'Cause,
very rudimentary.
Yeah, exactly. Like the it's weird. The all the advertising like it's like it shows you these mazes.
Yeah.
Like he's like carving out like a big maze thing. You're like, oh my god, there's gonna be like this crazy like.
He's trapping them.
Yeah, it's gonna be like these trials and mazes and like.
Yeah.
It's really two different rooms.
That's it.
There's a third room later on, but it's mostly two different rooms that.
Both doors lead to the same
nice?
basement. So then they go down to this room. Well, before that, he just talks to like, I don't know. Do we need to really explain the whole debate of the?
No.
Yeah, right. Because
Well, we can explain like where it took it because I figured like this movie would toe the line because you have people seeing it who are both religious, are like atheists or against religion.
When not to cut you off, but like when we came out of the movie, there were so many people talking about religion.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
like I've known what he said years ago.
Well, that's why the professor.
You think people were learning from what
Yeah,
he said?
so I think this would work well for like a college student.
Okay.
Like people hearing this for the
Young
first
people,
time.
sure.
But like, yeah, we're older. We've thought about this stuff, and like this feels a little like I get it. Like
yeah, stuff like this we would have seen on like YouTube or
just like we thought about like you think of this stuff on your own like.
Wow, you thought it was
Yeah, I done the Monopoly.
That's why you won't play Monopoly because it's such
yeah.
a religious bullshit.
Yeah, but I think it like I figured it would toe the line. Not trying to upset either side, like give a little bit to both sides. I think it towed it a little too closely, and like you made a good point. Like you wanted to go far, like. You wanted it to get like ethereal or like science fiction-y.
Yeah, he in the beginning of the movie when he's bringing them in talking about religion, he goes, "I used to find out about all these religions and perhaps choose one," and so he studied everything, and then he goes, I found out that there was the one true religion."
Yeah.
And then he like stops and
so what
changes
were you
the subject.
hoping for in that?
I was hoping for the Lord Satan himself to come on in and be like, he's a Satanist.
Yeah.
So this guy starts talking about there's another true religion. That's not his accent. There's another true religion. And then so I immediately think, what's the antithesis of God? So Satan or something scary like a monster. And as you go down into his weird creepy maze house, there's signs of like, antlers, like, skulls.
Yeah, like the circles of hell, rings of hell.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, here it comes, and that's not what happens. And so I felt a little disappointed and let down.
Yeah. I knew this movie was gonna toe the line.
Why did you think that?
Just because like no movie wants to upset either side. Like imagine when we saw Civil War, like they made the two states that broke off. Texas and California broke out together.
They made them friends.
So just like we don't want to upset Republicans or Democrats.
Yeah.
Like this movie is not going to want to upset religious people or non-religious people. So it gives you a little bit for everything. Like there's a lot of ambiguous things in there.
But I feel like the Satan part is such a scapegoat to be like, Satan versus everything.
But there's like things like, oh, maybe that was religion that helped them, or maybe this, and like it's more interesting to take just one side and run with it completely.
Okay.
Even like it would have been more interesting to take the religious side in a horror movie. Like, yeah, I think so.
I just find the religious movies to be the scariest of them all in a weird way. I maybe because I was raised Catholic, but I just feel like that there's more. There's a weird line where like this might be real because everyone believes in the good stuff of religion, so there's got to be some bad stuff.
So was it scary? Did you find the movie scary? So before seeing this, I heard things like, "Oh, it's actually not really a horror movie." It is a horror movie.
I didn't hear that and was expecting to be creeped out because it did seem creepy, and I did get that. I got that a lot. I was very scared.
There's jump scares.
I only jumped once or twice.
But there are like jump scares built in. It clearly is a horror movie.
There's a lot of suspense, a lot of like weird things that are gonna happen, and then nothing happens.
There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of jump scares. A lot of suspense. I'd say definitely classified as a horror movie.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a scary horror movie. But the gore, I think, was very, very. It was very only used when necessary. It wasn't gratuitous at all. There was one scene that was a little like, stop it, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
I know. Fucking.
Get up.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, I'm just going to
That
look.
was pretty gross.
It's pretty gross, but it wasn't that.
I mean, we've seen 3 horror movies recently. It's weird. Like every other horror movie has good special effects and then horrible special effects. Like
The
Smile
Devil,
2,
Smile
horrible
2.
special effects.
Really? You think so?
Like the face smashing.
Oh, yeah,
The
that
gore
one.
in that.
Oh, the gore effects.
Yeah, gore effects are like very hit or miss in movies.
Yeah.
This one had good gore effects.
Yeah.
Smile 2, very poor gore. He is a horror movie villain. I'd say one of the least intimidating horror movie villains. Who do you think is like the least intimidating horror bad guy ever?
Least intimidating horror bad guy.
Yeah.
Yikes. Definitely, I see what you're talking about with Hugh Grant, because he doesn't really.
He's
just
not
kind of
scary.
he
He's
kind of
like
talks
he's a
you to
college
death.
professor.
And he's also super nice.
Yeah.
And he has this very specific sweater that he's wearing throughout the whole movie that you can't just. You're always looking at is like, what is that? Circles or triangles? Very well dressed. Another person that was very
I got one. We watched last 4th of July. We watched the only Independence Day related horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Sam. It's like a zombie.
He was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Uncle Sam was.
He's a zombie who's dressed in an Uncle Sam costume, and the Uncle Sam costume looks exactly like Will Ferrell from Zoolander.
the what's his name? Derelict. The guy.
Yeah.
What was his name? Derelict.
So,
Yeah, he did have that vibe.
That's a pretty bad one.
It's enjoyable though.
I think we'll try the dish related to the movie right now. We talk about fast food in the movie. So
There's a small funny scene because he's trying to talk about how religion could be taken to be easy and quick, kind of like fast food.
So we made burgers for the movie. I made some burgers.
Made some burgers. Nice.
Smells good, right? Yeah.
It does smell beefy in here.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go grab it.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is this week's dish for the movie. They talk about fast food.
They did talk about fast food, burger joints specifically.
Yeah, so I made some cheeseburgers for us.
You made cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Smells pretty good, right?
Like burger? I mean, it does smell beefy in here. It smells really neat. But like, is it like burgers and fries or just
burgers? I'm gonna grab some ketchup for it.
I mean, burgers are okay. It does smell nice. Let's see. Well, Jesus fucking Christ!
Back, what's up, one?
Oh man, this is
good?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's in here.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great.
That was dumb, but
I liked it. Wait, hold on. Wait, so no one's making burgers in this house?
no.
Where's your wife?
We got different recipes.
Where's your wife?
What's the real thing that you
I was
made?
promised burgers.
What's the real thing you made this week?
The real thing we made, blueberry pie, baby.
That's not meat related. It hasn't meat related.
Well, I'll tell you, it is meat related because when you make blueberry pie, you use dough, you use fruit, you use sugar, but then you also use fat. And the fat that I use in this is not only did I use butter. Not only did I use butter, I used beef tallow, beef fat.
Wait, regular beef tallow?
Not just regular beef tallow, Danny. Thank you for asking. It's actually Wagyu beef fat, which doesn't necessarily make it any better, but it's more nice.
Yeah.
I just baked this maybe 2 hours ago. It's still pretty warm.
It looks very delicious one.
And I will say this though, it's not A5 Wagyu. It's just regular Wagyu.
Yeah.
So
Upstate.
I'm sorry, I can't afford
some cows that we got upstate.
I know we're shooting in beautiful Astoria, but we don't, butchers don't make
We
that
don't got
much
that
money.
kind of money.
We don't got that kind of money.
Okay,
But
cool.
I will say this, just so you know, and the people out there know, there is no hemlock in there and poison. Are we gonna cut into this or
Yeah,
no?
for sure. Let's do it.
Fuck yeah! All right, let me
get
a knife. This is Juan coming to you live from the La Cocina. This is the kitchen at my place. So we're making a pie. First thing I'm gonna start off with is the blueberry filling. I'm gonna season it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lemon zest. We're gonna hit it with some cinnamon, a little bit of cornstarch, and just kind of like, I don't know if macerate's the right word, but we're just gonna kind of season it all up, get it really nice. And it doesn't say to do this, but I'm gonna leave it in the fridge overnight As a butcher, I like marinating things for a long time. This isn't meat, but in my heart, I know that I'm doing the right thing. So we're gonna see what happens, and then I'm gonna put this away. And then after that, I'm going to uh, go ahead and create a pie crust, and I'm gonna let that sit overnight. And then tomorrow, I'm just gonna put it all together. We'll see how this works out. Next up is the crust, the most important part. We have some beef tallow here. It happens to be Wagyu. Doesn't really matter that it is. It's just a little bit nicer. I stuck it in the freezer. I also put some butter in the freezer. I'm gonna incorporate both. That's gonna be our fat for the pie crust, and then we have some nice flour. Got some salt. Got some sugar. Gonna sweeten up just a little bit, and then some ice. So I'm gonna put some water in there here in a little bit. But the trick is to keep, or so they say. I've made a few pies in my life before, but this is my first time using this really nice beef fat. So this is about half a cup of beef fat. We're gonna use one of these sticks only. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop these up into small little cubes or little chunks, little like kind of like thick pieces of feta cheese, kind of like a crumbly kind of situation. I'm gonna stick this back into the freezer once I've chopped it, so it looks a little cold, or so it stays a little cold. But it's gonna look very small, and the idea is that it'll be easier to incorporate with the flour. And then I'm gonna make my two doughs, and I'm gonna wrap them up and put them in the fridge overnight for tomorrow's rolling and baking. Yeah, so we're gonna weigh everything out, and the trick is to keep everything cold. I got my ice water, I got my cold fat. It's easy, but you know it can be tricky. This is my butter and my beef fat. I just chopped it up. Was not easy. I definitely lost some to the floor. I'm gonna pop this back into the freezer just to keep it nice and cold, and I'm gonna start getting my flour and sugar and salt together. All right, so these are my doughs for the pie crust. I got one for the bottom and one to make a top lattice cover. Bought a pizza cutter for that. Yeah, this was a very messy job, but I got it going. Got in my little ice water to incorporate the butter and the tallow in it. But I'm gonna wrap these up and put them in the fridge, so we'll see what's up tomorrow. Cinema beef. Good morning, cinema beef. All right, so these are my two doughs that I'm going to be working with this morning, but they're rock hard. The internet says this is fine. I just got to leave them out for a while. I am worried though. This is really hard. But I got my roller ready to roll. I'm ready to. What's that? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave these out for a little bit. I'm gonna have some breakfast, and I'm gonna see what's up. But I got my pan. I'm ready. This is gonna be done. All I do is put it together once these freaking thaw out. They're not frozen. They're just hard from. There's a little bit of give. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The internet says we're fine. Trust the internet. Wow. Okay. All right. These are, man. If you follow a recipe, you get nice outcomes. All right, so we'll see. Seasoned blueberries, they look fine. I was worried. I'm sure that if you did what I did and just like season them the night before, they're gonna get better. I could be wrong, but at least I was worried that they would wilt. The salt or the sugar might affect the fruit in some way, but it's not bad. It's nice. It's like bitter. It's got lemon. Ooh, it's a little tangy. All right. I'm gonna do a lattice. I don't know why. I should just cover this and call it a night. But I'm gonna do a little crisscrossy lattice, something that they did not do in Heretic. But you know, that's what we're gonna do.
All right. Thank you very much for making this one. I'm sure it was a bit of a hassle.
It took me a long time, but you had to make the dough. You gotta add the butter. You gotta add the fat. You gotta chop it the fat. You gotta freeze the fat, and then you add it and you work it. And then once you work it, you gotta proof it overnight, and it was a whole thing.
That's delicious.
I used to make
Take it
pies
this way?
though. However you want, Danny. You're the guy with the knife.
Oh my god, it's cutting beautifully.
Is it? Does it feel like solid all the way
Yeah,
through?
it feels awesome.
All right, and then also we got some ice cream. Full.
We're gonna try the pie, then we're gonna give both the movie and the pie a review with our cool
I think that's awesome.
proprietary rating system. Huh?
Yeah, the cinema beef scoring.
Index.
What I did was I used beef fat not
And,
only in the dough. Oh crap! I thought it was coming out nice.
Me too. I don't have a pie server. If anything, maybe.
That's fine. You go for it. If it falls out, if it falls
big
apart,
spoon.
falls apart.
Oh my god, perfect.
We're butchers, not bakers. Look at that.
We're not candlestick makers either.
Yeah,
Well,
we had to
we'll
buy.
have a Heretic
We
do
had
it
to,
for
we had to buy our candles off the internet. If you saw the Heretic movie, which I hope you did, out there, the pie that they put out, nowhere as nice as this one.
Oh god,
Yeah. Oh, you had it.
I had it.
Yeah.
Get in there, one. You. It's too challenging.
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm really impressed, one.
Hey. Yeah, when I was sending you a text and I sent you one of the pictures, you said that Martha Stewart would be happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a nice thing to say. It's a nice looking pie. I made a lattice and everything.
Yeah. Great. Cheers.
The crust tastes like unctuous,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
it tastes old timey,
It
but
does.
good.
Yeah, it's really tasty. Excellent work, Juan.
What do you think about the filling though? These
Good. It's not too sweet.
it's got a little bit of acid.
Yeah. And one thing I don't like the pie is like way too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. It's tangy and delicious.
Yeah, I was looking up a bunch of different recipes, and a lot of people were adding tons of sugar.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. Juan, I'm impressed. Is it better than Heretic? We'll see.
Yeah, what do you rate it?
Okay, so yeah, well, let's throw the rating system on the screen.
Ooh,
Ooh, wow, there it
Wow.
is. You got that one, that one, that one.
I don't like the left on the cutting room floor because it's a really bad steak, which is the point. Oh, look at that steak. What is it? Is that just like a completely burnt steak?
Yeah, yeah. with
But then
some
someone put garlic
on
on top of it? You're like, oh, send it out, send it out. People will eat it.
So, Heretic, I'm going to give that one a high select. No, I'm going to give it a low. I'm going to give it a low choice. Yeah, it's a good looking movie.
Great looking movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension in the beginning of the movie. But it just like, it feels like a movie that...
It failed to deliver for you.
Yeah, it just had a lot of promise. And then just didn't
They
deliver
fucking
in
blew
the
it.
end.
They blew it right at the end.
90% of horror movies will do that for you.
Yeah, I walked out literally out of a movie usually more times during a scary movie.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. But like, I get more disappointed by these movies like every time because you just want Satan to show up and he doesn't. He never shows up. Ah.
So what do you give it?
I liked it a lot. I feel like I would recommend any person to go see it because it's so fun and the acting is good. But yeah, you're right. It did kind of fail to like give me what I wanted.
So what's your review?
So my review of it, because it kind of let me down, and it went to the basic. So he has women trapped in his basement. That's a basic premise.
Yeah.
And we've seen that.
You're right. Yeah.
It's such a basic premise. It's just whatever. So for me, at the same time, it was still fun. It was scary. It was engaging. I had fun with the lecture, the TED talk that he gives, because it's like, I like to hear about shit, even though the topics he was talking about was kind of silly.
Yeah.
I give it a prime.
Okay.
But like
Prime,
a low prime. Like it's good, but it's not.
I give it a low select. You give it a low prime.
Yeah.
And now for the pie.
Oh.
I'm gonna give it a A5 Wagyu.
Yeah.
It's very, very tasty.
I give it an A5, but a low A5, just because I've made better pies.
No, it's very, very tasty.
This is probably my 6th pie in my pie making career ever.
Yeah.
But I've been away from the game for such a
Nah,
long
you
time.
still got it.
But I still got it.
Yeah, very, very tasty.
But I think adding beef tallow, which is what they used to do in the old days, in the olden times, I think maybe I should have left the butter out. I don't know.
No, I like it. It's very, very rich crust. Very flavorful, very flaky,
Nice.
very tasty. Okay, great. Any last words? Come on.
The last words is that heretic. Heretic.
Oh, and then so
That's my last word.
next week we'll be doing a review of Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2.
We're gonna review this guy, the
Whoa.
Gladiator 2 AR
Get out of here,
popcorn
big.
bucket.
Look at him fighting. Oh.
Okay, great, awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Cinema Beef episode 2, Heretic.
Yes.
Heretic.